Live from Bangkok, Thailand. Morning, everybody. Sawadee Cup. I gotta wear my glasses today because I can't see. Today, lots going on in Thailand. And I always say I wish that I could say some good things. I wish I had good news. I just don't. I guess we're still alive. There's still a chance that we'll get through this and Thailand will get back to semi normal. But every day that passes and the worse that it gets, the less faith I have. And I have very little faith right now in the Thai government and what's going on. Very little. And there are people all over that are suffering here. People in Pattaya protesting, driving through the streets. They want the prime minister ousted. It's really getting pretty bad. Um, so it's medical, economic, and political. All three of these problems. And I don't know that there's any solutions for them in the immediate future. And this is the worst I've ever seen it here. And I've been through I don't know how many coups, but several. And this is the worst that I've ever seen Thailand in the worst shape I've ever seen. The people. Hang on one second. You gotta close the door, or the door will be opening and closing all morning by itself. But this is the worst that I've seen it. And granted, the government says they're trying, and they're trying with things like the Phuket sandbox and the Samui Plus program. I don't think any of them are working. It's my opinion, and they're a little bit delusional in my opinion. And, I see these people on Twitter and various other platforms that baby steps, step by step. They have no time to do things baby steps. Baby steps was a year ago, a year and a half ago. They had to start with baby steps. But for numerous reasons, that hasn't really happened. And now they're in a position they can't take baby steps. They need to take leaps. There are further restrictions. Now, probably won't mean all that much to me or my family or the people, most people, but those people who need to travel from province to province, I still see this is something that I don't understand. They talk about cracking down and how they want to stop things, and yet I know numerous people who are going from province to province, and these are the dark red zones, and yet they got checkpoints, but nobody's stopping them. It's a joke. This is anecdotal evidence. These are my friends. These are people I know that have been traveling around a little bit, and it just doesn't look good, man. And for people to want to go to a country, their perception of the country has to be a perception of a country that is fairly stable and it's going to be fun as a travel destination. And I know there's a lot of hardcore Thailand people out there that are like, it's going to get better. Everything will be okay. Yeah, maybe. But in the middle of that time between now and then, the infrastructure is going to suffer. The people are going to suffer. They're going to change jobs and just go, screw this. I'm never going through this again. Um, it's really bad. I mean, that's the only thing I know how to say. It's over 10,000 cases yesterday. Um, 141 dead. And let me just talk about a few things because there's numerous things to talk about. I mean, this is just it's crazy. It really is crazy what's going on here. Now, I have not been going anywhere. I haven't been going really to the mall very often. I only go when I have to get groceries that like we need or I think we're gonna need in the next week or two. Um, Now, could we do without cheese? Yes. I can get cheese online. that kind of thing. Those things I can just get online. But there are certain products that they don't sell a lot of frozen foods that I want, that we want, frozen fruit, that kind of thing. They don't have a lot of that. Just little things like that, and it adds up. Uh, so that's really the only place I've been going. Now, yesterday, or rather Friday, I went and saw Longhorns, moderator Longhorns, who's staying down by Lumpini. And basically, we didn't really do anything. We just talked and went and had some coffee. And you're not allowed to sit in the coffee shops, so we walked to the coffee shop and then we grabbed the coffee and we just started walking. We did a walk and talk. So I'll have a little bit of footage from out in that area coming up soon. Um, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, it was exactly what I expected. The traffic was light. There was very few people out. The people that were out there were in the grocery store rather. We went to Dean and DeLuca. We were the only ones in the place. We went to another coffee shop, and we saw some people sitting down, and we thought, oh, maybe they'll let us sit down, And hey, Soy Dog Cowboy. And so we went into the place, and they go, no, these are our staff, and they're leaving. Hey, Johnny, how you going? Yeah, how you going? Because you're in Oz, and things are not so great in Oz either. Um, and they said no. This is our staff. They're leaving, so we just got our coffee. They were very nice and everything. I mean, it's just they're like in a position. What are they going to do? So we just went and walked around, locked down for the fifth time. And then we went back and, watched some TV and shot the shit or whatever. And then the next day we went and saw Jonna, who made us this fabulous pizza. And I'll tell you what, by the time I got done with walking around in the morning, because we went and had coffee in the morning, and we went in and got we got a few things from the grocery. And then we went to Jono's. But by the time I'd say by the time I got out of the grocery store, where I forgot my phone, and fortunately, because this is Thailand, no one snatched it up right away. I walked back and inside the grocery and grabbed my phone. By the time I got out, I was like sensory overload, because I just haven't been around many people lately. Crazy. So, I wish I had some good news. I wish I could just be like, hey man, things are all right. They're taking a turn for the better. I can't. And I won't. And there's people on Twitter, and I'm not going to name any names. There's some very well-known people on Twitter who like to play it up because that's all they only want to talk about the good. The thing is yes, there is some good going on. People are trying to help each other, and people, they know the situation. But nobody is happy with the government. Not one person that I've talked to has said, hey, we believe in the government. Just hang in there. Nobody has said that to me. None. Everybody has said, what a joke. Now, let me get to some of these, some of the things going on here, because there's just lots of protests. There's a big protest planned today. And of course, nobody is allowed to gather. So all these people are doing so illegally. And who knows what's going to happen with that. But yesterday I got an email while I was out. And the email was from I believe it's from the U.S. Embassy. Let me see here. I think it was from the U.S. Embassy. If you are signed up with the U.S. Embassy, let me see here. Who sent this? Well, I don't know. Somebody sent it to me, but it's the State Department. They released a health alert that said the Thai government has informed the U.S. Embassy that it is offering U.S. citizens in Thailand, hey, General, the opportunity to be vaccinated with the AstraZeneca vaccine at 4 p.m. this Sunday, July 18th, 2021. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, that's not bad, right? All right. Now, the event says July 17th, but you're getting vaccinated July 18th. You're supposed to register. Now, I was out, all I had was my phone. I didn't have my laptop with me. I think to myself, maybe I should register the boys since their schools haven't gotten their shit together. And by the time I looked at this link, the and I found out later, 5 minutes is what it took for people to go in, register, and fill up the number of vacancies, the number of registrations available. 5 minutes. Now, there are various embassies, various countries that are getting this. U.S., New Zealand, Australia, Austria. However, the bad news, as it says here, supplies ran out long before people, and supplies means available registrations, ran out long before most people even received any notification. By the time I received notification, it said something like, you need to register by this time. And I was like, wow, that leaves me like an hour. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And I couldn't, by the time I was able to get to where I was stable and sitting down and I could look at everything, it's a done deal. You couldn't do anything. And the more I think of it, and I have a letter from a guy that wrote me, left a comment about how pissed off he is that people who are expats and Americans, America has no problem taxing people who are outside of the country. Whatever the tax laws may be, they have no problem keeping track of how much money you make, taxing people, and yet when it comes time to give something back, they don't give you shit. And this is Thailand giving the embassies this. This is not the U.S. government. So the U.S. government isn't doing jack shit for its people. So, it's, as I was telling Longhorns and Jono, it's very frustrating to see what's going on. And I'm very, very, very disappointed in the way that the Thai government has handled this. And it's not a us and them, Thai versus foreigner. It has nothing to do with that because they already gave me a shot. It was a Sinovac, but they gave me a shot. They're going to give me another shot, and I'll get it. But it's very disappointing to see how they take care of their own people. And I've known about this for a long time. I've known about how the government is. However, I didn't know quite how bad it could be. And I never thought of this kind of a situation. However, I think about it now. And it makes me think long and hard about our situation, my family's situation here. I know several people. I got a message from a guy yesterday. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. This guy is somebody who loves his life, loves being in the country. And he's like, fuck this. They're talking about sending around groups of people basically to force you to test. 200 groups of people in hot zones. Now, my area is a hot zone. So that means they could come to my door and say, you need to test. Now, what do I need to test for? I don't have any symptoms. None of my family has any symptoms. We're not going anywhere really. And if we do, we're wearing our mask and we're washing our hands all the time. Good morning, everybody. Sorry if I don't get to everybody, but good morning. Longhorns, buenos dias. Yeah, I mean, and there are reports. This was in the news. There's reports that the health minister, or the deputy prime minister, something, whatever his title is. I can't even think straight right now. But Anutin, the Farang favorite, this was in the news, has solicited bribes for the Sinopharm. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if the news is correct or not correct. I'm just mimicking what they said in the news. But so anyway, when your own country isn't helping you, you damn sure ain't going to expect another country to help you. Uh, on a good note, the Thai baht is 32.81. So the baht is weakening. Slowly but surely it's weakening. And I was joking when I said, it was like 31.2 a while back, or 30.2. And I was like, man, I hope it doesn't go under 30. I'm like, God, no way. Just get back to 31. It gets to 31. It goes over 31. It's like 31.25. I'm like, all right. Hey, maybe one day it's going to hit 32. And then sure enough, it hits 32. And before it hits 32, it's like 31.7. I'm like, woo, maybe we'll hit 33, 33.5. I'm joking. Now I'm not joking. It's 32.81. I hope it hits 35. Because you know what? It's going to hurt no matter what. No matter which way it goes, it's going to hurt people. So it might as well be in the right direction. My direction. The best sandbox is the one I'm in. Jono's Pizza, Sandbox, and Civic. Yeah, I forgot about the Civic coffee. That was actually pretty good. I've forgotten. It's very smooth, and like I said, no acid in there. Now, before I go on, hey, do me a favor. Click thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Consider joining as a YouTube member by hitting the join button down below, or becoming a Patreon patron, or get yourself a shirt. I got numerous shirts. I got different American and Bangkok shirts. I've got, Captain Save-A-Ho. I've got Bar Girl Lives Matter. I need to put up the Farang Lives Matter. I got one of those shirts as well. However, everything's down in the description. So let me just keep going because I don't want to be pimping this out right now. Thank you, world governments, for focusing on one public health issue. Jono's Pizza. I have pictures of it, and I will put it up in the community tab. I will put the pictures of a couple of his pizzas that he made. The first one was a little rough because he's out of practice. He hasn't been making them lately. But the next two were really good, and the last one was fantastic. So you got to give him a little, leeway, because he hasn't been making them. It's not like he's got tons of people coming over to the house, So, that was my day yesterday and Longhorn's day, and it was, like I said, it's kind of sensory overload, but just being out, I just saw just how many things are closed. Even restaurants are closed that they could be open. It's depressing. And say what you will, but Chatuchak, which good morning, Chatuchak, which has not been doing very brisk business. They've been doing pretty poorly. I've been there numerous times in the last year, and it's been doing pretty poorly. But now they've shut down from July 16th to the end of the month. And I can almost guarantee, I don't know if I'd bet my life, but I can almost guarantee that this lockdown, quasi-lockdown, whatever you want to call it, these restrictions are going to continue another 2 weeks. So, Now, I don't know if you know, but the EU has taken Thailand off its safe list, which means that the average person who is not some traveler who is like, I don't care what the embassies say, I'm going, like me, like, say, Longhorns, like some other people who they're just like, man, they're talking about the moms and the dads who are like, bringing their little kids along on the holiday and that kind of thing. When you have the EU say, you're off the safe list now, and you have Germany on the COVID risk list, that's not good. And then, Thailand is still trying to get people to come in. Who wants to come in, really? Now, there are some people that will come in, because they either live here, plan on living here, or have spent a lot of time here, and they have a network set up. And one of these people is Longhorns. He's got his little network set up. He knows people. Can you hear this? We all got to eat. I mean, you know, I'm not too pissed off about it, but they do that all the time. They drive through with the car, and you know, this is Thailand. People traveling from Thailand to Germany must register online, have certificates confirming that the visitors have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. 10-day quarantine in Germany. So not only are they vaccinated, they have to do a 10-day quarantine. And Germany has approved the following vaccines: Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson. No Sinopharm, no Sinovac. So that's the end of that. Let's see here. Now, yeah, lots of anti-government protests. They're warning people. There's, let's see, the Ratsudan and Free Youth groups. They're announcing they're going to hold a rally at the Democracy Monument from 2 p.m. on Sunday, and they're going to march to the government house. That's pretty crazy considering what's going on right now. And considering that you're not supposed to gather. They're not allowing people to gather. Let's just bypass this article. Now, one of the big things is that people have been asking, why is the rollout so slow? Why? And why are they not bringing in other vaccines? Well, you got AstraZeneca, which is made here in Thailand by a certain company, Siam Biotech. And a letter just came out that showed that, let's see here, I want to get this right here. And it was a letter where, I guess, Anotin was saying that the Thai government needed 10 million doses a month. AstraZeneca can only produce 3 million a month. That's what they're saying. So, I mean, what is the point? Why not just get other vaccines? Well, I guess, you know, the thing is they can't negotiate a price. And what Thai people have said to me, and I've seen in the news as well, is that the government is too cheap. They don't want to spend the money that's necessary. That's what I've heard. Now, I don't understand, since the hospitals are willing to purchase them. The government, maybe because they want to force people to take certain vaccines. Now, if you remember, they had said, oh, yeah, use mixed vaccines. We can use mixed vaccines because the Sinovac is not really that effective against the Delta variant. Well, I got the Sinovac, the first one. So I'm thinking, I don't want to take AstraZeneca with that. Why would I do that when you got all kinds of people saying, no, it's not safe? And then you got the Thai government going, oh, it's okay, don't worry. Like I believe them? So I called my hospital, and they said, no, we're not doing that because we don't believe that. You're going to get the Sinovac. And after that, I said, can I get the booster of Moderna a few months after my Sinovac? Yes, you can. As far as we know, that is safe. However, we don't know when the Moderna is coming into Thailand. It may be the last quarter of this year. It may be next year sometime. We're not sure. And I said, you're not sure? And she's like, please understand me. We're not sure. You understand? And I'm like, I understand. I know why you're not sure. Because one day you hear one thing, the next day you hear something completely different. And I believe that one hand doesn't know what the other is doing. I've read both sides. And when I hear the Thai government saying, oh, yeah, it's okay. Listen, I'm more apt to believe the people who say it's not okay. It's just, and I worry about my sons, and while I'm not all that worried, because they're young and healthy and strong, how do you let a country get into this kind of situation where you go from in the top five in the world of handling this uh, situation, this COVID situation, to being in the bottom three? How do you drop that far? So there's a lot of people that say it's ineptness, it's corruption, it's this, it's that. I think it's a combination of many, many things. And here's something. Let me just give you a little insight to this. The Thailand Department of Internal Trade is urging people not to hoard consumer products during lockdown while assuring that there will be enough supplies for everyone. Now, hoarding of goods will be a violation of the Price of Goods and Services Acts and punishable with a maximum 7 years in prison or a Thai baht 140,000 fine, or both. Now, people can contact the department's hotline if they witness product hoarding or unfair pricing. Now, the unfair pricing, yes, of course I understand that. And the hoarding, I do understand, but like, you're going to put somebody in jail for 7 years for that? I guess it depends on how much they're hoarding. But I mean, like, this is what they're... Why don't you concentrate on getting a goddamn vaccine? Vaccinating people. At the rate they're going, right now, they're fully vaccinated, 5% is what they're fully vaccinated. I think it's 15% have had one shot. At the rate they're going, I think it's 10% a month if they continue the same way they're going and there's no problems. Except there are problems. There are hospitals that are full. There are hospital emergency rooms that are shutting down because I think it was one hospital had 300 people tested positive that worked in the emergency room and were connected in some way to the emergency room. 300 people. So they shut down their emergency room. How crazy is that? I just want some good news. Hey, you're alive. Okay, every morning I wake up, I say thank you. I'm very happy to wake up. I'm alive. Great. My family is alive. They're healthy. Although I can tell you that I can, just like this up and down roller coaster here it's not good for people. It's not good for me. It's not good for my kids. It's not good for my wife. It's not good for, even Jono has said to me, hey, yeah, man, this is kind of getting to me, because after a while you just go, I'm frustrated and now I'm getting pissed off and I'm irritated and you don't know, there's nothing you can do. So in a way, this is kind of a vent for me. There is nothing you can do. And, I am a guest here, even though I've got children here who are Thai citizens and all that kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous. All right, let me see some of these messages here. Listen, don't forget about the super chats, please. I'm not doing this for nothing. I'm not on here. I got other things to do. I could be sitting, binge watching on Netflix instead of talking to you guys. But, I feel that this is important. And there are some people out there still who are quarantined. And they want to know what's going on. Or they want to know what's going on. Hey, can I get back in Thailand? So get a shirt, do a join, whatever. Do something, please. You're taking another year off from Thailand. I'm very I'm frustrated. I'm irritated. But you know what I am? I'm really sad with this situation. Because what about all the people? They have nothing to go through. Now, where's the one article? Let me see if I can find this real quick here. Oh, no, that one's a funny one. Let me see here. There's two people. If I can find this article. Man and a woman owed some money to loan sharks. And this was in Pattaya also. And the loan sharks told them, hey, if you don't get the money to pay us, you might as well kill yourself. And you know what? That's exactly what they did. They hung themselves because they couldn't earn enough money to survive, and they borrowed money from these loan sharks, and then they couldn't pay the loan sharks back, and so it was like, hey, we're gonna hurt you, or you should just kill yourself. And they killed themselves. That's where we're getting to now. It's just sad. Yeah, it's sad. I don't know any other way to put it. Now, I'm trying to find out if there is. Good morning, everybody. Now, here's the thing. All this is going on, and John Barry, years. I'm saying 2 years now. I mean, I'm just guessing. It depends on the trajectory of what happens here. Now, I did put up a video about retiring here, and I've actually changed how I feel about it. I wouldn't come here to retire now. And I said wait until everything settles. I think don't plan on coming here. That's my own opinion. Don't do it because I say so. But start having some alternatives. Start figuring out some alternatives. It can be a great place. But you know what? The last time that this was a great place for me was in Raleigh and in Khao Lak. And in Khao Lak, it was just a great place because I was alone on the beach. It was a nice place. They had a few restaurants open where I could sit and have a drink, look at the ocean, relax. Okay, great. You can't do that all your life. So, Raleigh was great because it's the beautiful scenery. There were very few people. The vibe was good. But yeah, as of right now, in Phuket, I'm reading from the Phuket News. Phuket officials and local tourism leaders have announced that the current rate of arrivals and bookings under the Phuket sandbox scheme is on track to achieve the expected goal of the tourism reopening. Now, I have to say, I think that's bullshit, okay? Because what they said originally was, we expect 500,000 Thai tourists, and we expect 129,000 foreigners coming from outside of the country. And here's the numbers so far. Since the opening of the Phuket sandbox on July 1st, a total of 5,473 tourists have come to the island, and we expect to reach up to 18,900 this month. Now remember, 129,000 for 3 months. Divide that. Let's just say, okay, it's 43,000 a month. We expect to reach up to 18,900 within this month. Before this, the TAT expected to have only about 13,000 arrivals in the first month. So you're going to have 13,000. Now, if it was 129, that leaves 116,000. So you're going to get 116,000 in the last 2 months, and the last month is a rainy month. It doesn't make sense. So what they're doing is they're just changing the narrative. So the performance and number of tourists are following our predictions. Rubbish. Now here's another one. Phuket Sandbox will generate about 190 million baht for the Phuket economy. We estimate listen to this. We estimate the average expenditure to be about 40,000 baht per day per person, she said. Who spends $1,300 a day in Thailand? Who does that? Only the very wealthy. So all the people that are coming in are very wealthy. Well, I would expect that to change, Patia Bob. I would think it's going to change. They're mulling over some more restrictions, and I don't know, about Chonburi, but that's what it says. It's right in the article. Additionally, we have received bookings for A hotels for 109. See, they talk in room nights, okay? But room nights is, okay, that's great. You can figure it out, but they don't want to talk in number of tourists actually coming. 190 room nights for 3 months. That's 90 days, okay? Let me get out my calculator because I don't feel like doing math in my head. 190,000 room nights divided by 90. 2,111. That's 2,111 people. It's not a misprint. It's not a misprint. Guarantee you, it's not a misprint. It's just ridiculous. All right, so yeah, we talked about the protests that are going on, and despite the ban on assembling, there's protests going on. How come what happened here? You know, there's a UFC event on there, Soy Dog Cowboy, and I'm anxious to see the main event, but. Now, I saw another article here. Thailand risks becoming the next Seychelles as tourist returns. They're letting all the tourists come back, but the problem is that the virus is out of control right now. And if you are someone who is fearful of contracting the virus, then that's a problem, obviously. If the red light district was open and you were getting expensive drinks and girls, you wouldn't spend 40,000 or even 20,000. I mean, listen, on a night where I went out when I first got here, if I spent 10,000 baht, first of all, I'd have a girl on my arm, and second of all, I'd be smashed, and she'd be smashed, and some of her friends would be smashed. So 15,000 I can see maybe, but that's even, 40,000 is crazy. You wouldn't have, gents, we ponder the state of affairs with what is in front of us. How are we as a group or a single person going to find a solution to the problem? That's my question. And here I don't know, because I don't want to get involved in any way with what's going on. I don't want to stick my nose in it. I've been hesitant to even photograph what's going on here. Well, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Just one girl. And not only that, but, that's one girl in one day. You can have two girls at once, and then you have, one or two girls earlier in the day. I mean, you add it all up, and, okay, even that's not going to be 40,000 baht, unless you're an idiot. I mean, what are you going to do in Sydney? What are you going to do in Victoria? What are you going to do when I saw the photo or the video of the guy? He was just walking out of some, like Macro or something like that, Lotus, some grocery store or one of those big stores, big box stores or something. He's like walking out, and he's starting to take his mask off as he's just walking out the door, and some female cop, jumps all over him. And you're fined. It's $200 for the fine. And if he challenges it, I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works, in the United States anymore, but you don't have to pay extra just to challenge it. You go back and you basically say, I want the officer to show up. And sometimes the officer doesn't show up. Lots of white knights and Captain Save-A-Ho running around Pattaya. Yes, unfortunately, especially when winter comes around. And this is something that, we are not talking about at the moment, but yeah, things are getting bad right now. But how much better is it going to be by the end of the year? How much better is it going to be when the high season is gone? We're back next year, and It's a little better, but it's still not that much better. And people can't open there's no tourists coming in. Tourists don't want to come. Listen, I don't want to go anywhere where I have to pay a ton of money. Why should I pay $5,000 to $8,000 when usually I could go there for 2,000? Why would I do that? That's just stupid. And really, at my age, listen, I've been in a lot of countries. I mean, I've been in like 50 countries. That's enough. I got places I want to go see. I got things I want to do. I got things on my bucket list still. However, I'm perfectly okay tootling around wherever I'm staying. And, I think for all the negativity, we are still able to do some things here. But, like, oh, wow, I'm allowed to go to the grocery store. Woo! I'm so fortunate. And I really am starting to feel like I live in China. That's how I feel. It can only get better when more are vaccinated, not before. Chinese aren't going to come back for a while. China's not going to let them out. And, Cambodia having a higher rate than Thailand, what does that say? Sri Lanka. I think Sri Lanka, I forget which were the ones above. I mean, you're talking about countries, third world countries, have their act together with this situation more than Thais. I don't get it, man. I don't know the inner workings of the government, and none of us do really. We don't know everything that's going on and I'm sure there are some things that they really wish they could do, and they just, for whatever reason, they're unable to, they're incapable of doing, or whatever else. I don't want to blame it all on, corruption, deceit, and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that. But there are elements of that from what I see, and from what people have told me, and from what I've read. There are definitely elements of that have contributed to this. And how much does, this is the thing. Thai people generally listen to their government and believe in their government. They may not always agree with their government, obviously, but they just go along with it because they are fairly passive, and because they're just like, hey, my life is okay, I'm living, I'm doing all right, I got money, I got food, we got a good education, we got a future. But now that's starting to go away. What about all the little kids that are doing school online? They never get to go meet with friends. They don't socially interact. That's a good thing? Oh, it's better than dying. The chance of them dying is extremely slim. Yeah, I'm a little irritated by all this. The more I think about it, the more irritated I get about it. There is a stay-at-home request from the Chonburi governor. Stay-at-home request for cooperation overnight. This was yesterday. Oh, this was a couple nights ago. So they've been asking people to stay at home, not to go out. And, you can't ask. You're either going to tell them you must do this or else. Or you just don't even say anything. Because people don't care. Like, listen, if I want to go to the grocery store, I'm going to the grocery. Because we got to have food. I want to make sure that, and here's the thing, hoarding. Okay, what's hoarding? Really, what is hoarding now? I understand you don't need, 5,000 rolls of toilet paper. Yeah, listen, Nicholas started university. He's never been in his school. Never. Alex hasn't been to his school in a year. One of his friends got to COVID and is in the hospital, but I think he's going to be okay. And, here's the thing. You're in Thailand, like me. Okay, we go somewhere else. Now, we're just it's like changing a chick, okay? A lot of times you exchange one set of issues with another. You think that because you cheat on your girlfriend that you're going to have a better relationship with the next girl. But, chances are she's got her own set of issues or whatever. Um, so, it's like jumping from one frying pan to another. Now, here's something I find kind of humorous. I really find this funny, especially right now. Thai government hopes to lure rich foreigners with land ownership. I find this hilarious. They want to allow rich foreigners to own land in Thailand to enjoy 10-year long stay visas. Now, first of all, can I say this? I don't know that I would want, unless I was extremely wealthy and I could buy land, and if I lost the land, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't want to buy a piece of land here. And also a 10-year long stay visa. Okay, that's nice. Granted, it's nice. Why don't they do that for everybody? Hey, if you got $2,000, we'll give you a 10-year visa. You got $2,000 and you show X amount of money coming in every month, and we're gonna give you a 10-year visa. Why don't they do that? And then the foreigners will spend the money. I spend money here. I don't always spend a lot, but I always spend a certain amount every month, and then some months I spend a lot more than others because of the kids. A lot more goes into the system. If you think about it. My wife and I have been taking care of the kids since they were born. That entails one set of finances. They've been going to private schools the whole time. They're in private universities, and yet, private universities. Well, thank you very much, LG, for becoming a YouTube sponsor. Thank you, appreciate it. I've been doing these things. It's, November, it's my 27th year. 27 freaking years. Now, I don't expect really anything. However, I don't expect to be treated like a third-class citizen. And this is the thing. This is why now I'm starting to change the way I feel about people retiring here. And I just saw a video the other day from the guy, what's his name? Nomad Capital. He said Thailand is, and I said this a long time ago, Thailand is one of the overrated places in the world at this moment. And he's talking about before the COVID. It's overrated. Now, I've been saying that for years. John, thank you very much. John, you left a comment, choke D to both of you. You left a comment the other day about you need at least $2,000 a month to be safe as a single man. That's not really true. And I've talked to several people about this already. Yeah, okay, more is better, for sure. But here, I'm not going to say $600, $700, $1,000. No. If you got $1,500 and you're taken care of visa-wise, and you got insurance, you can get by and you get a nice little apartment for 10,000, 15,000 baht a month. And you're not eating out all the time. We don't eat out all the time. I can tell you that the groceries are a big expense. If we didn't buy groceries and we just bought Thai food all the time, okay, you could get by for, I don't know, let me think now. I know Thais who in the past, they used to get by on 2,000, 3,000 baht a month to eat. But, they're small and don't eat much. But like now, if we were to spend, let's see, 50 baht a meal, say, times 4 is 200, times 3 meals a day, 600 baht a day, that's 18,000 baht a month, okay? We don't spend that much dining out. We spend, I don't know how much dining out, which we don't dine out, we really just get street food. but we also get groceries. And I was just saying how I've been saying how the grocery prices are going up, and I think I have a video about the costs going up in Thailand. And I think we spend somewhere between 18,000 and 24,000 baht a month. But that's, we're stocked up. We got a full freezer of meat. We have pasta. We have, pasta sauce. We got 2-3 different kinds of cheeses. We got, coffee. We got all kinds of, we got everything that you would want as a Westerner. Plus we have Thai food. Plus, if we want to order out, we can get any kind of meal we want. Plus, we can just get street food just right in our village. We can get about 5-6 different kinds of street food, at least. So, well, $2,000 is a lot, and it's better than 1,500. It all depends on how you handle your money as a single person. If you're some guy who's running around and you're grabbing chicks, or you're paying chicks, 2,000-3,000 baht every day, or say 15 times a month, we'll just do the math. You're talking about a considerable amount, and 2,000 is not enough. I stayed once 5 months and 6 months. Both times I had a budget of 1,400 to 1,800. First time, my rent was 6,000 baht. Second time, 14,000 baht. Yeah. That is a good thing, but here's the thing. At this point, is it really beneficial to move to a place where you're living off of next to nothing? It is beneficial if you have absolutely no money. If you're living off a retirement pension that is $800 a month, but you've got $150,000 saved, your life savings is 150 grand. Gennaro, you could put 800,000 baht in the bank, which is, $25,000. You put 25 grand in the bank. So if let's say you got 200,000, you put 25,000 baht in the bank, you buy yourself a condo, you got some money, you got a pension coming in, you go out that's why guys live in Pattaya. Because they go out, they have some guys, they go out and they have a breakfast for, $3. So, but let's get back to some of this news here. What is this? Yeah, let me go over this because this is pretty damning. Fate of 100 million dose vaccination hangs in the air. Leaked letter shows AstraZeneca may not be to blame for the shortfall. Leaked correspondence between the Thai government and the COVID-19 vaccine manufacturer AstraZeneca has raised a big question about the former's commitment to administer 100 million doses by the end of this year. ISRA news agency on Saturday posted a letter by Shojerd Huben, Vice President for Global Corporate Affairs of AstraZeneca, to Public Health Minister Anutin Charnvirakul 22 days ago. The letter explains that the ministry that the most Thailand would get from the European drug maker's local contract manufacturer would be 5 to 6 million doses a month, which is consistent with earlier discussions. Siam Bioscience Company Limited, a company owned by His Majesty the King, was retooled to manufacture the vaccine. The government subsidized 600 million baht for the upgrade, and officials later said the company would pay back the sum in the form of shots. The letter caught many by surprise since the government had repeated many times that 100 million doses would be administered by the end of the year to inoculate at least 70% of the population, with 61 million of them being produced by AstraZeneca. On various occasions, the government assured people that AstraZeneca would supply at least 10 million doses a month for the rest of the year. The question that naturally followed is what vaccines the government would buy to achieve that goal, especially when all sides have agreed that Sinovac, which is the most readily available, cannot effectively shield against the Delta variant of the coronavirus. Sinovac also costs at least 4 times more than AstraZeneca. According to the letter, the Ministry of Public Health to date has placed 2 orders for 61 million doses of AstraZeneca. In total, the first concluded in January this year, was for 26 million doses, and the second closed in May this year. It was 35 million doses. I guess there's a contract for 175 million. What I read was that there's not going to be another batch delivered until next year, a bulk batch. But the commitment is only to buy 3 million doses a month. And AstraZeneca says Thailand should be pleased that it is now receiving 5 to 6 million doses a month. It also says that the company mentioned that it had urged the Thai government back in September to enter the COVAX vaccine sharing facility, along with buying directly from manufacturers. Thailand is one of a handful of developing countries that have not joined COVAX. Yeah. So I don't want to keep going on this because it just irritates me. I just see this and it irritates me because basically it shows a lot. I don't want to get into it. Let's see here. Gennaro, how's the barista training going, or did you change to Monsieur? I know many Thais who are living on much less than $900 a month, including rent. Okay, but Jim, take into consideration they're Thai and Westerners are not, and many Westerners don't want to learn to speak Thai, or they speak almost no Thai, and thus they don't want to get involved in the whole scene of trying to become just like a Thai. They want to live like a foreigner, and they're not going to do that. On $900 a month, they can get by, and if they're smart, they can probably, and they got everything set up, they can probably be comfortable as long as they have savings and they have their insurance and they have their visa. That's why the Thai government doesn't allow 800 to invest in Thai bonds that would generate income. Yeah. Watch, they're going to raise that. I guarantee you they'll raise that in the next few years. It's going to go up again. It'll go up to 1 million baht or something, especially if the strength of the dollar goes up and the baht continues to weaken. Best place for me to eat out is Terminal 21 food courts. Noodle stands charge me 70 baht cheaper. No, that's not true. If noodle shops are charging you 70 baht, then you're eating at the wrong noodle shop. Because the noodle shops that I go to charge me 40 baht, 50 baht for a piece head. There's great food everywhere on the street. You don't have to go to Terminal 21. I understand you go into Terminal 21 and you probably trust the food there and all that kind of stuff, and the price is right, because in food courts the price is generally very good. I can tell you, when I go to a food court in the Mall Bangkok, I end up spending, usually with a water, I'll end up spending about 80 or 90 baht. I can go across the street to one of the noodle shops and I'll spend 40 baht, maybe 50 baht. And in one of them, I get all these breaded, crunchy breaded things called, what are they called? The patong. And they're fantastic. And her noodles are fantastic. And, it's 50 baht. So, down in Sukhumvit, you're going to pay a little bit more sometimes, depending on where you go. But, it's still the food is reasonable. The lodging is reasonable here. Yeah, the thing is I don't eat street food all the time. Like this morning, I made myself an omelet. I'll have oatmeal or I'll have an omelet. I have an omelet. I put some onion. I put some garlic. I put tomato. I put a little ground pork in it. I put a little bit of cheddar cheese in it. Make myself an omelet. And I change that all the time. Sometimes I just make an omelet with some onion in it or whatever. Yes, I've eaten Burmese food quite a few times. In Myanmar and here. Yeah, are you even allowed to go out from your house, Andy? Aside from going to a doctor? crazy. Listen, I'll tell you what. I see all the things going on in Australia, and I hate to say it, but you know, I'm always one to like that wants to go to places that are very, very culturally different than um, than where I'm from. And so Australia, because they speak English, and you know, although it's Australian English, um, you know, it's never been the highest up on my list. But I mean, there are things I'd like to do and go see there. My mother loved it. But I'm tell you what, all the stuff I hear and all the lockdown and the way their mentality is and the police are now, I wouldn't go to Australia. They've turned me off to Australia, just as I believe Thailand has turned people off to come to Thailand. What is this? The big caveat is if an insurance company considers them uninsurable, then how to get a visa renewed? Well, you got to have money. You got to have money. What are you talking about? Taking a knucklehead to? I already been to Pet Marks. What are you talking about? I'm not going there again. I'll tell you that. I'm not going there again. Soda Cowboy, thank you very much. Choke D, I hope you're doing well. How's your eyes, by the way? Are they getting better? Yeah, after 2 months of just eating like a freaking monk, eating like, you know, I mean, just no sugar, no salt, no noodles, no rice, nothing. So when I see that peanut butter chocolate pie and I'm having pizza yesterday was the cheat day. No new tears. Well, that's great, man. But you still got the floaters or what? I hate saying that word because it makes me think of floaters in a toilet. If you would like to come here, we can show you the great stuff, even Deliverance Country. Well, that's actually what I want. I wanted to go see the Salties. You know, I wanted to go in the Outback. I want to do stuff like that. I don't want to just be in the city. But now I'm turned off to the place. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm just turned off, at least for now. I'm turned off. I don't want to go to Australia. I don't want to go to, I don't want to go to the United States. But I don't know, but I'd want to come to Thailand if I was a tourist. Honestly, I don't know what would be the reason. Now, I got to read something. If I can, what happened to that? Son of a bitch. Son of a gun. Let me see if I can find this. There was an article that basically was from the, let me see, maybe it's in the, oh, well, you know, here, I'm looking at, well, this is a couple days ago, 523 cases. I'm trying to find this one press release from the press department of Thailand where they're talking about how people should now wear masks inside their house. Which I'm sorry, but I draw the line at that. At least for this. If it was something else, though, that might be a different story. Yeah, let me see here. Okay, well, I think this was... okay, I did see this, and it was, practice these tips for good mental health. Exercise regularly. All right, well, I exercise. Not like I used to, but eat healthy. Yes, I've been eating healthy. Get adequate sleep. Yes. I'm starting to do that. Limit your alcohol intake. Yes. Talk about your feelings. I thought Thais don't talk about their feelings. I don't know where this thing is. Let me just say what it was, if I can remember it. Who is this douchebag? One of the things that they said, you know, the usual, wash your hands, socially distance. And then they said, when you're at home, wear a mask and also don't eat together. And by the way, keep your refrigerator clean. Now, you should always keep your refrigerator clean. Semi-clean, I mean, at least. Yeah, this guy. Of course, all these people posting all this nonsense are people that don't have real accounts. Let me read some of these here. Got to get through this. It was in the. It was from the press department, I guess, or some organization in the government. Yeah, those pizzas were very good. I think we just had a cheese pizza the first one. We had a black olives and sausage or chorizo or something for the second one. And I think it was like chorizo and jalapeno for the third one, which was awesome. That one was awesome. That was a great pizza. And Jono's a little hard on himself about the pizza. I mean, it's still like the thing is that it's the kind of pizza you can eat and you don't feel like bloated, you don't feel so heavy from it like if you eat the stuff at like Pizza Hut or somewhere like that. It was from the TDDC MOPH. We just got big problems here, man. We got issues. Yeah, I mean, this is another thing. You're going to force people to put things inside your body. I don't know. It just seems extreme. Extremely extreme. Let me go on here. Oh, here's the article about the people who they were found hanging. A man and a woman, both food cart vendors, were found hanging in a house in Muang Chonburi. It's really, it's terrible. All right, let's see here. All right, so Phuket, yeah. Everybody's spending 40,000 baht a day. Yeah, here's the thing. Less than 100 days before it plans to throw open its borders to international visitors, Thailand is in the grip of a worsening COVID outbreak and sluggish vaccine rollout. And that's putting it mildly. And this is Maldives and Seychelles. They've seen a record surge in infections since opening their borders, despite having vaccinated 70% of their population. So when are these people going to understand? Okay, first of all, if you don't have a vaccination, there's a percentage of people that's going to die. And it's relatively small, unless they have these comorbidities, which exasperates them. I don't know that it actually is what kills them. Once you take the vaccine, you're still not protected. You're still going to get the You're still going to get the virus. So then you're getting vaccinated. I mean, basically, here's the thing. I heard something the other day, and then a while back, I forgot that Longhorns had sent me this video of Jocko Willink, the Navy SEAL. And they asked him, what do you think about the mask situation? And how do you handle it? And basically he said, dealing with somebody and and this is how I feel, dealing with somebody and having to fight with them because you don't want to wear a mask, or in order to get into a place, you need to be vaccinated. And in order to travel freely, you need to be vaccinated. I would rather just get the vaccination because I don't think it's going to kill me. I don't think it's going to turn me into an aardvark. I don't think it's going to hurt me. I don't think there's any magnets in my arm. It means less hassle. I don't have to stop and bullshit with people. I can barely handle people for a few hours. When somebody comes up to me that I don't know and they want to harass me because maybe I don't want to wear a mask, I'd rather just wear the mask because I don't want to deal with them. And I don't want to deal with the problems if I react the way that I want to react, which is stay the fuck away from me. Get away from me. I don't even want to talk to you unless you're some government official who has some authority. Piss off. So it's better you just wear the mask. You don't have to deal with them. That's how I look at it. And I was glad that he said that because I thought, yeah, I just don't want to deal with the hassle. The pandemic-sized hole in Thailand's tourist industry has impacted more than 7 million workers, ranging from street food hawkers to taxi drivers and hotel room cleaners to tour guides. One of the country's main sources of foreign currency has dried up in the process. That makes opening the border a calculated risk worth taking for the government. Thailand can't wait for a time when everyone is fully vaccinated or when the world is free of the virus. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha said last month when he unveiled the October reopening date. I'm going to tell you right now, don't plan on coming in October. If you want to, go for it. If you believe in it, go for it. But I'm saying, if you were asking me, should I make plans to come in October, I'd say hell no. I don't want to piss my wife off again. You're too loud. I'm going deaf, you know. That's what I tell her. I'm going deaf, and I am actually, in my left ear. While infections rise, the economic needs of the people must be taken into consideration. We can't close the border. This is from a guy who's got a hotel consultancy business, Bill Barnett. We can't close the borders, especially in Asia, with the sheer size of the population. Okay, well, then, why don't you make it happen? Get people vaccinated. And then guess what? People are going to come in. They're still going to get the vaccine. I mean, they're still going to get the virus. And it's like, listen, the thing that really irritates me about Australia is that they have this zero virus policy. One case, we're locking it down. You're never gonna have zero cases. You're gonna have zero cases for a while, and then guess what? It's gonna come back, and it's gonna come back again, and it's gonna come back again. It's gonna be here forever. There is no way we're gonna get rid of this. I don't see it happening. I don't care. From a virologist standpoint, I would say, if you're going with the 80, what is that? The Pareto principle, 80-20 principle. I'm going to go with the 20% that it's never going, the 80% it's never going away, 20% that maybe we can get rid of it. And I don't even think it's 20%. I think it's about 0.0000001%. And I have less confidence that Thailand will open this year. How can you open up? How can you open up if you're complaining about we don't have enough beds in our... Nobody wants... Here's the thing. You can open up and nobody wants to come. Very few people want to come. Who wants to come? Okay, I always look at it like my mother, who is a fairly seasoned traveler. She does it a little different than I do, but she's a seasoned traveler. She's traveled around. As has my sister and a couple of my friends. And I think, would they come over here? They'd be like, no. No, not going to do it. First of all, because of the cost. Second of all, because of all the hoops. Third of all, because if you are found to have the virus or someone tests positive in your group when you're traveling, there goes your holiday. And what happens if they shut down? What about people coming from Phuket to Bangkok now? You can't go from Bangkok to Phuket now unless you are fully vaccinated. Well, so very few people here that live here are fully vaccinated. So how are they going to get 500,000 Thai tourists to go to Phuket? They're not. I think the world as a whole will open in 2024. Listen, my parents said to me a while back, hey, if we just are at home all the time and we only have to go out like to the doctor and, maybe to the grocery once in a while and that kind of thing, that's fine with us. We have accepted that. And I'm almost getting to the point where I'm like, okay, don't set your expectations too high. I'm almost at the point where I'm saying, I may not be able to live like I used to live for another 5 years. It might be 5 years before I can live how I used to live. I hope not. But I'm starting to lower my expectations to that level. A lot of people can't afford to travel now. Why would they want to go to Thailand and quarantine? And especially when a lot of things are not open, and then they run the risk, even if they are vaccinated and they test positive for some reason, guess what? They're screwed. They're going in quarantine, local quarantine. One flew over the cuckoos. Yeah, exactly. Australia dropped the ball on vaccination rates, still low. Terrified we will experience the India catastrophe. You know, one thing I don't understand is why is Australia so slow in vaccinating their population? Why? 2026, perhaps. Um, Listen, I can tell you, all those girls are exhausted from the mental aspect of uh, just being in this situation, as are many people. I can tell you, my kids are not too happy about it. My wife definitely is not happy about it. She's just like, this is how it is, And I'm like, how? We're not meant to live like this. We're not meant to live in a life where we're just going, well, it is what it is. This is what we got to do. That's not how we're meant to live. People are meant to live. What is that shirt that I have? Life's an adventure. Live it. And I believe that. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have moved here. I wouldn't have traveled all over. I wouldn't have done these things. But I do believe it. Yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. The politics have gotten in the way damn near everywhere. I'm like I said, I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I'm concerned. I am concerned, and I'm like, okay, so, listen. I'm telling you, one guy wrote me yesterday, and he just goes, "That's it. I'm out. I'm leaving in October." He's like, "I'm gone," and I'm like, "Really? I'm gone." I'm like, "Wow." This is a guy who has a good life. He's, stable, happy, you know, but he's gone. He's like, I'm out of here. See you later. Let's see what else we got here to talk about. Ecuador is not so great when it comes to the COVID, but it is easy to get in there, and it is still fairly, it's expat friendly. Prices are rising a little bit from what they were a couple years ago when I started talking about it. I don't know that, I mean, listen, the one thing is that I have a family, and I have to think about, okay, it's great that you can go somewhere, but then what afterwards? What are you going to do? I'm an American in Ecuador. I don't know. I don't know. That's and I have to think about my wife and my kids. Would they be happy? I don't know. I just don't know. I think if they'd be happy anywhere, it'd be in America. And I don't know that they'd be happy there. COVID has permanently affected business travel and commercial real estate. Meetings and working from home will be more and more. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, my wife goes out about once a week for a business meeting or whatever, but she has to go at her office. And other than that, all her meetings are online. Remember when the government said they fear end of year would bring 10,000 cases a day? Yeah, exactly. But remember, last week they said, oh, next week it'll be 10,000. And now you're telling me I haven't seen today's numbers. Thank you very much, Gennaro. Choke D to you. Choke D very much. Choke D very, very much. So 11,000, let me see here. 11,397. So, Bum Gun Chuck, he is, Mr. Percentages, Mr. Mathematician, Mr. Figure It Out. And this doesn't tell me how many deaths, does it? It says over 100 deaths. 11,397 and over 101 deaths is what it says. Well, that's exactly what I was saying. I was saying, Ian, I was saying that, it's just like switching up chicks. It's just like, you get married and you get a divorce because you cheated on your wife and you're with somebody else and you're like, now I got another set of issues. You know, it's one frying pan into another. So, I mean, that's why I'm not, I would never rush into it, and I'm not exactly in the greatest position to do anything like that where we just made a move. And, I'm not at my age, I'm not someone who's thinking about starting a restaurant, a Thai restaurant or something in some little beach resort. It's just, and to get back to why Jono doesn't start up his own little pizza joint, I mean, I think he's also at the age where he's like, screw that, man. It's too much work. He's got a good life, man. He's got a good little thing going now. He's relaxed and, has his little routine down. And it's great. I'm very glad to see that. But he is also a little bit worried about what's going on now. Can't wait to do a report of mass hangings for false media and non-performing governments. Yeah. 660 cases of COVID in Chonburi. And in Ban Lamung, 167. Yeah, rebound destination. Yeah, do we need that? 200 cases in the whole country here. 12 million people in lockdown. They're so deathly afraid. I'd rather be the guy who tried something out of the box and, people died. Then people sat at home and wondered, when is this going to be over? When is it going to be over? And they started killing themselves, and they were wondering, why haven't they got me vaccinated? Yeah, I had 135 already, sort of cowboy. Yeah, I think there's some people that maybe they're locked down. Alvin, what's going on? I think some people in America are going back to work. Australians locked down. But I think the top countries now that watch are the U.S., UK, Australia, Thailand, and maybe Singapore. I forget the last one. Let me see here. Yeah, so 101, and there are now 13 provinces. 13 provinces that are considered dark red, which is basically if you're coming from a dark red zone going into another country, you either need to be fully vaccinated or you're going to be quarantined. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, one problem as I see it, is that when you release the numbers every day, it's not good for people's morale. If you did it like once a month, yeah, but why don't you just put the deaths out like once a week? You never stop working, so you're one of the lucky ones. Scott, something out of the box. How about a blow-up doll that keeps going down on you? Send it back. Just keep. I don't know. I guess if you could make that, that would work. Make one of those. That's the problem. Humans get tired after a while. Singapore's stopping the numbers, and the thing is that Singapore, they are thinking out of the box. However, they want to vaccinate everybody first. Having managed hotels for a majority of my career, I was considering opening a resort in Thailand. Then my sensibility kicked in and asked why I would want to work 6 to 12 hours a week. Yeah, first of all, the age thing. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I mean, there are times when I got an abundance of energy. I got plenty of energy. Usually it's on trips and stuff like that. I'm just like, boom, I'm on. When I'm at home, and especially in a situation like this, I don't really feel like I would not want to be running a business like a restaurant or something like that, or even in Ecuador, wow, it's new, oh, great, oh, but you're relying on that. You're relying on that, just like we rely on income ourselves here. You would be relying on that, and if you fail, you're screwed. And you're older. Every day that goes by, you're older and older. And, yeah, it's not to say that some 75-year-old can't run a restaurant. I just don't really want to be that unless I have to. Arizona's 100% open. Well, I think what people are finding out now is even though they're vaccinated, they are still contracting the virus. I don't know if the death rate is going up in the United States or it's going down, which is what is really important. People are going to get sick. I mean, people always get sick. It's part of life. The idea, though, is to not get so sick that you die. And who wants to be in some field hospital in Thailand? I've started emailing Senator Rubio, Senator Scott. Good luck with that, Wesley. Yeah, exactly. Who wrote that there? Pattaya Bob. Jim, you know how to make $1 million in Thailand? Spend $3 million a year in expenses. Yeah. Reminds me of the death cult counting to Vietnam. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. Thank you, Johnny. Choke D. Choke D in Australia. Vax people less sick in the US, UK. After the stream, I'm walking over to Central Food Hall getting some quarter-inch thick roasted, cracking, greasy pork on rice. You bastard. For the fun. Well, I hope that fun comes soon. I got a lot of things I'm trying to do that they all rely on, am I able to travel freely? And right now, I can tell you that, I went, like I said, I went to go see Longhorns. Now, Longhorns was in quarantine. And aside from when we're inside of the hotel and we're talking to each other, we've got our mask on. We go out, we got our mask on. Everywhere we go, we got our mask on. And still, and when we went to Jono's, same thing. On the way over there, mask on. Got over there, mask off. Okay? And still, my wife was like, she's worried. She's worried anytime I go out. She's like, stop going to the mall. You don't need the stuff at the mall. Rap God is open. Yes, it is. And I'm not going there. Well, I'd go there, but I got to get paid. I'm not going there not to get paid. I'm sorry. I'm not eating that shit, for $5 or something. It's just not worth it. That stuff is so bad. But that crackling pork, fantastic, you bastard. Yeah, that's the other thing. You can't even sit down there and eat their crappy food. You go there and you're like, all right, bye. And they don't have to look at you going, ooh, what is that? I don't think I've seen the whole time. I've been there, what? I've been there like 4 times and eaten there 4 times. And I've walked by there like 3 times. I think I've seen 2 people buying, aside from myself, I've seen 2 people buying food from the Rap God. I don't know how they stay in business. I got the video. I'll put it up, all right? He's complaining because I shot a video eating this piece of pork, and the rind was so crunchy and so delicious. I peeled it off of mine, and I ate it, and I was shooting video, and then I hit stop on the video, and it said, error. This video did not save. And I was like, oh. I go, hey, let me have a piece of yours. I only had a tiny little piece. I go, let me have a piece of yours. So he gives me the piece, and I'm holding up the piece, and of course I had to have some of it. But that stuff was fantastic. And by the way, Nicholas gave his thanks to Longhorns and to Jono for not eating that last piece of peanut butter chocolate cake because he loved it. And by the time it got home, it was no longer a perfect triangle. It was kind of a little messy since it was in my bag. Anyway, all right, let me get back to this because we gotta finish this up here. All right, this is about the yeah. Oh, everybody's going down to what's the new station? What is the new station? I can't remember. New train station. Thailand, Bangkok, Bangsu. Yeah. Okay. It's that place is a bit of a haul. It's a bit of a haul away from my house, and Hulampong was not that bad. It was pretty easy. You just take the freeway or you take the subway. But those people would be getting vaccinated right around now. The people are there now getting vaccinated. Oh man, that pig skin is good. Is Thailand turning into Soviet Union? What is this article? I gotta look at this. Oh yeah, it's keto, so it's healthy. Uh, Thailand's Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has ordered the armed forces and national police to arrange for rapid deployment tests. Wait a minute, excuse me, for rapid deployment teams to carry out door-to-door testing for COVID-19 in Bangkok. This is what I was talking about. The move is aimed at finding and isolating infected people to curb soaring transmissions in the capital, according to an informed source. Questions should be asked about why vaccines are taking so long to be introduced, which would have prevented all this by now, but they aren't. Instead, a dystopian national lockdown and curfew is likely very soon. The teams will be sent out across Bangkok and to the surrounding provinces. These teams will go door to door to offer a free COVID-19 testing service to people. Those who test positive for the disease and have significant symptoms will be immediately transferred to a field hospital, while their contacts may risk contracting the virus from these new cases as well, will be advised to isolate themselves and monitor their health. Herbal medicines made from green chirita and Drogryphus paniculata and some fever-reducing drugs will also be provided in case they develop some symptoms later during their home quarantine. You got to be messing with me. They're going to go around and they want people to allow themselves to be tested, and they're going to give them some herbal medicine to help them. These people are out of their freaking minds, man. In addition, Internal Security Operations Commander spokesman Major General Tanatip Sawangsang said General Prayut had ordered the armed forces to support vehicles and facilities to transport COVID-19 patients from Bangkok and its surrounding areas to return to their home provinces to undergo treatment on a voluntary basis. I hope it's voluntary, because of bed shortages in the capital and its surrounding provinces. The Prime Minister also ordered ISOC to install Tupon Suk happiness sharing cabinets in various communities to boost efforts to provide relief to the most affected people. Listen, I can tell you, if I caught COVID here in this village, everybody in the whole village would know. They would know, and they would probably not want to be around me ever. Not that they want to be around me all that much now, but they would probably, I don't know. I can only imagine. Okay, the antigen tests, they approved, and they're not all that much money, but they're like 400 baht or so. The growing number of new infections has driven up demand for screening kits and left many people still waiting for the standard test, which uses the reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction, RT-PCR techniques. These 4 rapid test kits have been approved to be sold over the counter for self-testing so that people can find out their COVID-19 status as early as possible. Okay, so that's good. You can test yourself and go, yeah, I got it. I don't have any symptoms though. And if I start having symptoms, then that means what? I got to go get into quarantine? Or do I just let myself get better, or do I trust their herbal medicine? Previously classified as controlled medical devices, these 4 rapid tests have been modified to make them more suitable for self-testing and now approved by the FDA. Details of the kits can be found on the FDA website. Those caught selling and advertising any rapid COVID-19 tests other than the 4 approved by the FDA could face 6 months in prison or a maximum fine of $50,000 or both. Now, they're going to get 6 months in prison for doing this. And what was it I was just talking about? They get 7 years in prison. I think it's, what was it? What was that I was talking about? They get 7 years in prison. It was ridiculous. All right, can you hear this? There's another one. All right, I wish I had some good news. I tell you what the good news is. There are Thai women here. And they're still here. Now what's going to happen is if you go into if they reopen the Go-Go's or anything like that, when you go in, they're going to say, vaccination card, please. We want to see your vaccination card, your ID. You're going to show it. And then when you go with the chick, they're going to say to you, the girl's going to go, you have vaccine? You no have vaccine, I no go with you. Let me read this here. They might spread it going door to door, exactly. Herbal panhandlers. Hope door to door doesn't include hotels. I don't think it will. But I wouldn't be surprised if they come to my neighborhood. I really wouldn't, because I'm in Bangkok. You know, and Bangkok is considered a hot area still, which I still don't understand what happened with their market when they say that it's going to be closed forever, and then it's, oh no, we're reopening. Because Farang have COVID too much. Be better to set up vaccination posts like here in the UK to get everyone done. Everyone is catching here, but no one is dying after the second jab. Yes, there are Thai women here. I think that is the end plan, the COVID passport. Well, I don't know. It would be nice if there wasn't, but I think we're going to have one. But it's better than having some, Bill Gates type thing where you get a little purple dot stuck into your skin, and then that carries all your digital data. And from then on, you're known everywhere you go. Everybody knows everything about you. You know what it is I don't have anything to hide, but like, Jesus Christ, I don't want everybody knowing everything about me when they don't need to. The government doesn't need to know shit about me. All they need to know is, did I break any law? No. Then shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't bother anybody. You know, I don't go out and rob and steal and pillage, and I don't do any of this shit. I'm not a troublemaker. I just want to be left the fuck alone. So when they start with this kind of shit, it really starts getting irritating. And then the thing is okay, I'm irritated, but what am I going to do about it? Nothing. Well, if I had to, I would leave. If it really got that bad, we would leave. 10.5% of the Australian population has been fully vaccinated. This rate will be vaccinated around March 2022. Yeah, well, 5% here in Thailand, and I think it's going to take them 18 months. The one thing is, I guess being irritated or frustrated is better than being depressed about it. I won't let myself get depressed about it. They're not going to bring a tank and drive the tank into my house and like, okay, you get the test now. That's it. We've had enough of you holding out. Get your test. That's not going to happen. All right, now I got a. Well, I mean, this is the thing. This is the whole reason why, while I did say in the beginning, people shouldn't come here. I did say Longhorns was probably an exception, as is, say, Soy Dog Cowboy and other people who have spent a considerable amount of time here in the stream. If they wanted to come here and they just want to hang out, they got a house out in the country, they got a girlfriend they want to, shack up with for a week or two, and they don't really care about going to the bars and going out partying and running around and going and seeing the sights, okay, then you want to come over here, fine. You'd be all right. As long as you're fully vaccinated, you should be okay. And you have the money, you want to just say, I'm going to piss some of this money away. Then you can be here and you'll be happier just because you're in Thailand. And I dare say I'm happier here than I would be in the United States. And that says a lot. Thank you very much, Dowlo. Choke D. Choke D to you. Longhorn's ready to pillage some crispy pork. I think he already did. More people in quarantine here in Melbourne than those who have the actual virus. If you had been to a place where someone had it, you have to get tested and isolate for 14 days if you've been to a tier 1 site. They need to not give shots to people that have had the virus. Well, I don't know about that. I leave that to the scientists. All right, now, on a happier note. Okay, let me go over this one first because I was talking about this earlier and I just kind of forgot about it. For foreigners who have quite a bit of money, the extremely wealthy foreigners, they can enjoy a 10-year visa and own land. Rich global citizens, that's the program, has no age restriction, but this group is required to invest at least $500,000 in government bonds, property, or foreign direct investment. They must also have at least $80,000 in income over the last 2 years and $1 million in assets. Meanwhile, wealthy retirees are required to be 50 and over and have an annual income of $40,000 and invest $250,000 in government bonds or real estate. I don't really understand what they're saying there. But how many millionaires who have that kind of money are going to look at Thailand as a place where they want to invest $500,000? Either you're really rich and you like Thailand and really rich, where $500,000 is not much at all. You've got, you're worth $80 million, $200 million. Okay, 500 grand is nothing. What is this? Sorry. Let's see here. Jono has the best location. Just go downstairs for 7-Eleven, coffee shop, Taco Bell, Japanese ice cream, and more. Yeah, he's got a good little gig there. That's what I'm saying. So, Jono, if you're watching, I know that this shit gets to you, and it gets to me, and it gets to all of us here, but we can't let it get us down, Can't let it get us too down. It shall pass. It just won't pass fast enough. It won't come fast enough, I can tell you that. Which Thai knucklehead dreamed this up? Exactly. Now, let me read this here, though, because I want to finish this one up here. For professionals interested in working in Thailand, which includes individuals who work remotely or employees of large companies that are close to retirement, they must have $40,000 per year in income with an educational background of a master's degree or higher, or rights in intellectual property, and have 5 years experience in research. Now, what professional is going to look at that and go, I don't know, why do you have to have a master's degree? You're earning $40,000 a year? That's not that much. In fact, that's not much at all. I don't get the way that they are thinking about this stuff. Experts in digital services are required to work for a set listed company or work for at least 3 years in private companies which have an income. The company has to have an income of more than $50 million a year. High-skilled professionals with no age limit are required to work in target industries or academic experts in universities or state agencies. I just don't see them drumming up the kind of numbers that they think they're going to get. Sorry. I just don't see it. All right. I could be wrong. And I've been known to be wrong, but I don't see it. All right. Now, on the holy shit article, the holy shit article of the week, Thai man trapped for 2 weeks. And when I say trapped, I'm talking about his penis. A man suffers permanently disfigured penis after getting it stuck in a padlock for 2 weeks. Embarrassed Thai mother tells medics he likes putting it through small holes. The Bachelor, they had to put The Bachelor. So in other words, we know right away he's not married. Clamped the metal device around the base of his genitalia in a bizarre sex act, but he lost the key and his penis started to swell. How do you lose the key if you're putting something like that around your pecker? You lost the key? He must have lost it on purpose. He tried and failed to remove the small padlock, so left it on his penis for more than 14 days. Ow! Until it became infected, and the pain was so unbearable that he was rushed to a hospital in Bangkok, Thailand. It doesn't say his name or the hospital. The man's embarrassed mother, who tried to help him, that's scary there too, told medics that her son likes putting his penis through small holes. I'm not even going to say anything. She told the emergency services who had arrived. What kind of bonehead does that? Oh my God. Emergency services who had arrived at the man's home on Thursday night. She told the emergency services who had arrived at the man's home on Thursday night that her son did not have a girlfriend and was bored because he had been staying at home during the COVID-19 pandemic. My son is a private person and he doesn't have a girlfriend. He has been staying at home a lot during the pandemic because he is worried about going out. He told me he did this because he was bored and likes to put his thing through small holes. I was angry at him for embarrassing me like this, and I've told him not to do it again. You think that's going to stop him? Rescue officer Tongchai Donson said they received the emergency call, but the injury was worse than they expected and had to rush the man, who they would not name, to the nearest hospital. Medics spent more than 30 minutes using an electric cutter to slice through the metal lock. They slid a thin sheet of metal between the bar and the man's skin to prevent it from being cut and squirted water on his body for lubrication. And they've got a picture of the guy laying here. You know, you don't see his tool. And his penis is permanently disfigured. Once it was released, they administered antibiotic cream and gave the man penicillin tablets. Despite his penis being released, medics said there could be lasting damage because of the amount of time the padlock was stuck. His penis has also been disfigured by the ordeal. We received the emergency call and did not know the full details, so we were surprised when we arrived. Can you imagine? You're working doing that, and you arrive and you see some guy with a lock around his... It was worse than we thought. If the padlock had stayed on for any longer, the infection could have been so bad that his penis would have started to rot and get gangrene. In the hospital, he was in pain and screaming so loudly because it was so swollen. Removing the metal was difficult. We can't give the man's name, but we want to make the news public to prevent other people from doing this kind of thing. It could be very dangerous and damage the body. Stupid is as stupid does. There is a reason, what is it? Darwin's survival of the fittest? My God. Yes, rich people do not move to Thailand. I would say the only rich people who move to Thailand are filthy rich people who have a place in Thailand, they have a place in the States, they have a place in Europe. They don't care. They have a place in Singapore maybe or something like that. But moderately wealthy, and I'm talking about $20 million, $10 million, people like that, they probably find somewhere else to live. Oh, God. Maybe it's better than a date with a water buffalo. Oof. Anyway, that's kind of gnarly. Now, I wanted to say something. I don't know if Pattaya Bob is still listening, but what's the status with Peter? Pattaya Peter, who has come on the stream a few months ago, came on several times. Oh, that's funny. Looks like he was in between a lock and a hard place. Pattaya Peter, who has been on the stream, he's a German guy, and he's been on the stream several times. He was under the impression that he might have the COVID. So I'm wondering how he's doing. Yeah, and right after that, I come up with the, Peter. We're talking about the guy who's caught between a lock and a hard place. Idiot stuck his pecker inside of a lock. Hey, Carlos, he took the rapid antigen test and he was negative. Well, that's good. Well, cock ring, okay, but like locking it up like a chastity belt? I don't know what the deal is with that. Cucumber girl? I don't know cucumber girl. I know a few girls that have used the cucumber. Not girls that I know personally, but I've seen some at my friend's house or something, yeah. They had pictures on the wall. Cucumber girl. That's a joke, all right? Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you. Choke D. How's it going out there in Pattaya there, Carlos? Really? So this is not a isolated incident. There has been more than one person who's tried to stick his wiener inside of a padlock. Now I don't know, but like that's a pretty small area to stick your pecker through. Ugh. Yeah, have multiple keys. Or have a locksmith on standby. 33% have had the first dose in Australia. Yeah, it's starting to get crazy. I was talking about how there was one person who said, that's it, I've had enough of this. He wrote me yesterday. He said, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'm leaving in October. And he's in Pattaya. But he said, enough is enough. When they start sending people around door to door to test you, to ask if you'll be tested, that's in the United States, they call the locksmith. The TikTok challenge, can you fit your wiener in through a padlock and then be able to pull it out without going to the hospital? The incident I told you about yesterday was not an isolated. No, Pattaya Bob sent me some footage. You sent me some footage, and I've read all about it. It's very serious. And the other reason it's serious is also here in Bangkok, they have a big protest planned at the Democracy Monument. And, you're not allowed to gather. So what are they going to do? And I can't remember I was reading something about somebody having a machine gun or something. I forget where it was. I wish I could remember it. But the gist of the story is that the Thai army was out, and one of them had the machine gun out, and the Thai people were going, what do you need a machine gun for? What's the machine gun for? Why do you have to show the machine gun? Are you planning on using it? So this is something, I mean, I don't think that, man, Thailand cannot afford another bad situation. They have these protests. That's bad enough. Protests in Thailand in the news. That's bad enough. A bunch of people get shot. A bunch of people start doing stupid things. If they start attacking, military personnel or something like that, or doing things to buildings. Man, this country cannot stand that. People are in a bad way here. And places like Starbucks and, McDonald's and all these other places, Texas Chicken. Yeah, granted, they can sell to go. But how long are they going to stay in business when their profits are next to nil? How long is that going to last? So, I know I can be pessimistic, but I don't. Where's the optimism now? Do I see any optimism anywhere floating around that I can grab and say, hey, you know what? Try to be a little more optimistic, Scott. No, I don't see any, and I wish I could. I really do. The only optimism I have is that I wake up in the morning and I go, I'm still alive. I'm going to live a few more minutes at least. Shit, I forgot to have my coffee. I knew something was missing. These idiots clamped the padlock behind their entire package. Oof. That is not that's a reason right there I don't want to become a locksmith. Oh, man. All right, well, listen. If Longhorns could get here, and, what happened to this Cousin Dupree guy? I don't know if you remember, but Cousin Dupree came in, left a bunch of comments about how he was going to come to Phuket and see his girl. Haven't heard from him yet. Don't know if he's seen his girl. Don't know if he really was, if he's around or what. Chucky is, first of all, the way that I'm set up now is so that I can't bring anybody on anyway if I wanted to, because this is set up directly through YouTube, because I didn't want to have any problems today, and I'm shooting through my phone, not my computer. But Chucky is, he's still doing okay, but I think he's enjoying his newfound freedom. He's out and about, but he's, he sends me a message every day, every other day or something like that. He told me that the other day that he expects the number of cases in Thailand to rise as high as 80,000 cases a day. He sits there and does all the math and all that kind of stuff. All right, here we go. Here's another article that just came out. This is on the Tiger. Traditional Thai medicine, Pha Thalai Jon, gains steam as treatment despite shaky scientific merit. I wonder if this is the stuff they're passing out when the army marches around testing people. It's been used to treat a number of different illnesses, including the flu, a sore throat, and inflammation. Now the herb is getting used to treat mild COVID symptoms in green level patients, provided they are not pregnant or breastfeeding. 3 tablets are taken after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Each capsule has 60 milligrams of andrographolide. This is thought to help fight COVID. Some Thai experts tout this medication is effective in curbing the spread of COVID, provided it is taken in large enough quantities and taken shortly after the person is found to have tested positive. Come on, man. Come on. Ugh. I don't know if I want to go on with this. When I start seeing this, it reminds me of India. Why don't you just rub some cow shit all over you, and then you won't get the COVID. However, even the Department of Thai Traditional and Alternative Medicine Director General Dr. Amporn Benjaponpitak has reservations. Dr. Amporn said that Pha Thalai Jon can't provide any real protection against the virus. says that if your symptoms do not improve after 2 days of usage, yeah, exactly. You should see a doctor. So what happens if you don't have anything? You got to take it anyway? I don't want it. It's the thing. Get the fuck away from me. All these people, leave me alone. I don't want the army coming around trying to test me. I don't want their little cronies coming around trying to test me. I don't want them giving me their herbs and spices and, everything nice. If your symptoms don't improve after 2 days of usage, you should see a doctor. Well, did you ever think that maybe you weren't that sick in the first place and after 2 days your symptoms went away? Furthermore, the same department also admits that research conducted on Vaccination as a medicine to treat COVID has shown some inconclusive results. Other experts go so far as to say there is no solid evidence that this herb can boost immunity or even relieve the symptoms of COVID. Also, the Chowprea Abhai Bukjer Hospital says that taking the herb in large quantity can damage the kidney and liver. Another traditional doctor even states that using it for too long can lead to a decrease in sexual function without elaborating on what that meant. Well, I can tell you right now, I won't be taking this. I don't want any decrease in sexual function, and neither do I want any kidney or liver damage. There was a study that showed promising results for this herb, and the study had 6 people. Seriously. What the fuck is going on in the world, man? Really, what is going on? Oh, God. Ugh. I don't want to think about any kind of anal swab. It's disgusting. You don't want... No, I don't want the anal swab. I'm sorry. No daddy bear test and... God. Starting to sound like Kentucky Fried Chicken with different herbs and spices. Exactly. Listen, if I leave the air conditioner on all night and I don't grab the remote and turn it off, I wake up with a sore throat sometimes. And then, I go have a coffee. I wash my face, have a coffee, maybe have some breakfast. I don't have a sore throat anymore. I guess it must be the coffee. It must be the civic shit coffee that Longhorns and I drank yesterday. And again, Jono makes it with the drip filter thing, and it was quite good. I just prefer the espresso because I don't usually drink big cups of coffee, but it was very good. And I drank half of the cup of coffee, just plain without anything, and it was pretty good. So there you go, civic shit coffee. That might be another cure for everything. That's the cure right there. Civic shit coffee. Now, as I said earlier, in the EU, Thailand is no longer on the safe list for COVID. Germany has placed Thailand on its COVID risk list. So, let me see if there's anything else to go over, because we went over pretty much everything. Let's not and say we did. What am I looking for here? Shit kills the COVID. Well, that's what the Indians thought. They thought that, rubbing shit all over them or whatever, that was enough. Well, I guess there's some good news. 5 tourists landed on Koh Samui as the numbers linked to Thailand's reopening simply failed to impress. But 5 tourists came. And the numbers that are in Phuket, people don't even know that those are tourists. They know some of them are tourists, but they're not sure how many are tourists or returning expats or returning Thais or whatever. Or returning expats, I guess. I mean, I wish that these rollouts would work for Phuket and Samui, but oh, here you go. We're in Koh Samui. The Minister of Tourism and Sport was on hand to greet the 5 European tourists off the plane from Europe. Oh man, poor guy. Hello, hello, all the tourists. Tourists to spend 7 days in hotel environments subject to testing and therefore limited to sealed routes. The Samui Plus plan allows tourists access to other islands of Koh Phangan and Koh Tao. Oops. After 7 days within the confines of their hotel, so you still have to be in your hotel for 7 days. Bruce, how you doing? I was wondering what's going on with you. The current occupancy rate of 8 to 10% with long stay guests projected to rise between 20 and 30%. Well, you know what? I don't trust any projection. I want to. Here's the thing. You can bring it back to Tom Cruise, who I don't particularly like either, simply because of his Scientology and jumping on the sofa and all that kind of stuff. He's made a few good movies, I admit, but I don't particularly like the way that his image, you know. But anyway, what did he say in that movie? Show me the money. Show me the money. Okay, show me the results. Show me the people coming in. Let me see them, and then then maybe I'll become a believer. But until then, I don't believe. It's so bad now. I wish I didn't have to say that. But really, it's so bad now that I'm skeptical of damn near everything. Keeping it low key. Well, that's the only way you want to be, low key. At least here. Anywhere else, you know, it's dependent on destination, dependent on location. But here, yeah, keep it low key. I'm gonna listen for the next, probably the next week. I'm on lockdown, and I mean lockdown. I'm not going anywhere. If I need any food or anything, I'm gonna order online, get everything delivered. There's just no reason to go out right now. I don't need to go to a mobile phone shop. Any pharmaceuticals I need, I have. Food, we're stocked up and we can get online. So anyway, that's how it's going here. I wish I could tell you things are peachy keen and chipper, but that might not be for a while. The cost of a one-way stay in Samui, Samui, I guess it is, 35,000 to 100,000 baht. But it is pointed out this includes 16,000 baht medical costs for the 3 swab tests, not anal swabs, which are priced at 8,000 baht with a 4,000 charge for the first swab test. Under this scheme, if any here's the caveat to everything. Under this scheme, if any tourist arrives on a flight with an infected passenger, they are free to proceed with their holiday after the first negative test conducted during the opening 7 days of the stay. Otherwise, they will be placed in quarantine. However, if 20 cases, well, they only got 5 people there now. 20 cases within the sealed routes are confirmed or logged at hospitals, then this will mean all tourists will be confined to alternative quarantine facilities. If this figure rises to 40 cases, then even stricter public health measures will be implemented. The good news is that not one infection has been detected on the islands within the last week, where a large segment of the population is fully vaccinated. Well, that's good. That's good, but how long is that going to last? Eventually, somebody's going to get infected. Somebody's going to show up with the virus. For all they know, there could be people there that are positive, and yet they have no symptoms, and they haven't tested. They don't need to test. Nobody even knows. Wow. Delays in issuance of certificates of entry. This is another problem. On Thursday, the delays that would-be travelers to Koh Samui are experiencing in obtaining the certificate of entry were acknowledged, while it was also admitted that wary travel agencies would want to see clearly what the regulations or fine print associated with the initiatives are and how it works in reality before recommending to their customers around the world. Samui Plus aims to test the waters and prepare operators for more tourists when tourism rebounds. Well, I hope it does. I mean, what else can I say? All right, what is this here? Oops. Boy, have I missed a lot here? Let's see here. Yeah, something's not showing up here. Let me see here. All right. I don't know what's going on here. Now I'm starting to have some issues again. I always have issues. Well, I would say you're right. However, there's a trade-off, because if you're vaccinating too slowly and people keep getting more and more infected and people keep dying, what are you supposed to do? You know? I do understand in a way that they want to try to limit how much interaction people have with each other, but at the end of the day, the percentage is so low, I don't know that it really makes a difference, I don't know. There has to be some way, and I'm not some guy who's going to sit down and analyze everything and figure it all out, and there are people that do that, and I don't even trust some of them. Really? Your Wi-Fi crapped out there? In Argentina, a guy didn't want the vaccine. He climbed on the roof. The police and nurse found him and jabbed him on the roof. The world has gone nuts. Where is that? In Argentina. Oh, man. That would... I don't know. What do you do in a situation like that? What do you do? We were talking about it yesterday. What do you do if you're in your apartment? Me and Jono and Longhorn sitting in an apartment, and a couple of army guys knock on the door. Hey, we're testing you right now. Or, hey, by the way, we're going to give you the jab right now. What do you do? That's what I mean. And, the world has gone nuts. And I love that line from the Joker where he says something to the effect, I think I'm getting it right, where he says, is it me or is it just getting crazier out there? I think that was what he said. I actually should have changed the title to this. It's not me, the world is getting crazier. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be Thailand. It should be the world, because it is the whole world. You pull out your vaccination card, and they go, oh, sorry, we don't believe you. I think you'd be all right. You got the Moderna. Let's see. The thing too is that how do they know how much time in between vaccinations, the first and the second, how do they know how much time is necessary to be fully effective? How do they know this? Did they test this? No, they didn't. And so my wife has the AstraZeneca, and she's not supposed to get hers until like late September. I'm getting mine in like 10 days, 11 days, something like that. Maybe 9 days. I forget. I have to remember. I have to find the paper. Here we go. I just changed the title. All right. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Yeah, we are the guinea pigs. If anybody here of worth and value would like to talk about something, please put it in the chat right now or forever hold your peace. I'm expecting next time I come back to Thailand, I'll need a booster to be able to get back in. You probably will. We are the guinea pigs. That's what we are. Anyway, I think this is, we've run our course here in this chat. It's been, you know, I'm trying to think, you know, like, if I were to go somewhere, would I still go to Koh Chang in the west, Koh Payam in the west? Would I still go there? I'd like to. I'd want to do it with my family, though, now. I wouldn't want to go alone. And so that makes it a little bit tricky. But that was the last time. I mean, Phuket was okay when I went. You know, it's not my favorite place, but it was interesting to see how it changed from the last time that I had been there. And it was interesting to see how just dead it was. I didn't exactly have a lot of fun there. But it was nice being there. But it was even nicer being in Railay. And that was the last time I've probably had any real fun. You know? 1 second here. Oh, God. Let's see here. In Australia, the extra was 3 months. We're talking about 4 weeks. Yeah, they're always changing it. Chance of me becoming a Thai citizen is pretty much limited. It's pretty limited because I'm not paying taxes into the Thai system. And if you're not paying taxes, you won't become a Thai citizen. I wish they would change that because I think it's... you know, this is the thing, that Thailand is not one of these countries like Ecuador, where, or some of the other countries that are well known for, you know, like, what's the one, you know, places in the Caribbean where, you know, you pay $100,000 or whatever, and then you're able to become a citizen and get a passport, a second passport. Thailand is not one of those places. It takes time. It takes at least 8 years. And you have to be paying into the system. There's all kinds of... There's things you have to do. You know, it's hoops. You got to jump through a bunch of hoops. I know a couple of people who've become citizens, but not many. I know several who have their PR, their permanent residency. And even that's, you know, it's just... It's ridiculous. To me, it's ridiculous. So, Johnny, take it easy, Johnny Siam. The next chat will probably be on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to... I try to stream at least twice a week. But, you know, when people are home and stuff like that and they're interested in what's going on, well, then, you know, we have a livelier chat and then it's kind of fun for me. But if there's not that many people around, and, you know, and the other thing is that I don't particularly like sitting in front of the camera all the time. I want to be out, and I don't want to go out now because I just don't want to deal with any shit that happens. Because if you're in a place, and that place, and I know about this from several sources, if you are in a place, and that place it's determined that that place had somebody who they tested positive, and they go through footage and any sign-ins and things like that. You're welcome, Johnny. Thank you. And they determine you were there, you're required to go in and get tested. And if you don't go get tested, you can have problems. So that's the other thing. Just being somewhere. If I go into the mall, and what they'll do is if somebody tests positive, they'll go, people who have been at this place, who have been in Fresh Mart, in the mall on this day from approximately this time to this time, you need to come in and get tested at this place. Now, if you don't go and get tested, and they find out, you could be in a little bit of trouble. I will say this: you could receive some hassling, and I mean hassling. I don't mean they're being nasty to you or anything like that. I just mean they want to know what you were doing, how long you were there, and why didn't you report in, and so you run a risk. Every place you go, you run a risk, and that's how it is now. That would be the thing that I would say. If you go into a grocery store, if you go in somewhere, and that place is determined to have somebody that tested positive, QR codes in the malls, in the market, no. No, generally no. It's all about the app, and it's about signing in, and I don't sign in. Okay, Dowlow, take it easy. I don't sign in. I don't want to sign in. I don't care. I'm not signing in. I'm not signing in everywhere I go. They don't need to know every single place I go, because I don't go that many places. I know exactly where I went. So, and it's, yeah, I'm, God, I mean, what do you say? What do you say in Australia when they want you to sign in or use a QR code every single place you go, and they know exactly where you've been? I already know they know where I am. But you still have to check in. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go here, you got to go there. You better use this. I hate it. You don't need to know where I am. If I'm sitting at home all day, why do you need to know where I am? Why do I need to check in if I go to 7-Eleven down the street with a mask on, and I was there for 30 seconds and there was nobody there? The number one word of the day: frustrating. All this is frustrating. There is a pendulum in Thailand and around the world. There's the pendulum, and that is, in my eyes, it should be safety of the public and the ability to continue earning so that you can eat and survive. That's the pendulum. However, they add in another aspect, which is the political aspect. So they've got to make sure, we're doing everything right. We don't want to look bad. But there's this jockeying for position. Well, that's the thing, Tony. What do you got to do? You need to know the size of my shit? You need to know the exact coloration? Do I have to take a picture and send it in so you don't have to swab my asshole? Yeah, yeah, exactly. I get pissed off, man, when I start seeing that everywhere. And, I've done my part. I do my part. I don't blatantly walk around without a mask and just go, I don't care what they say. And I just don't want to deal with them. If I had it my way, nobody would wear a mask. And they'd all get vaccinated, and then we take our chances, and everybody can go back to work and try to earn a living so that people don't lose their houses, don't lose their businesses, because that's what's happening right now. I have to sign in at work every day. It's mandatory. Well, I mean, isn't just, like going to work every day when you're there and them acknowledging your existence there, isn't that enough? Like, most people, they click a time clock, or that people know they're here from this time to this time. I know some places like sales places and stuff like that. Maybe you're out doing sales calls or whatever, or you're meeting with clients, and but for the most part, if you go into your office, people know you're in the office. This is what's next. There's no more land to be had. It's not like I'm going to go to my family, hey, listen, let's go plot out that. There's a little island over there. Let's go get that island right. It's going to be ours. We're going to just take it. You can't do that. We're not going to go homestead in Alaska. That's not going to happen. So basically, you just live within the boundaries of today's societies, wherever they may be. And you just try to just turn the other cheek. That's the best thing to do, I think. I think really like I was saying earlier about the whole mask thing. It's easier to just put the mask on and go into the store and go shopping with a mask on than it is to fight with the person at the door and argue with them, and then you're not going to win. So what's the point of pissing that time away? Just put the goddamn mask on, get in there, and get out and leave. But I draw the line inside the house. Like none of us have the virus that we know of. No, none of us have any symptoms. Why am I going to wear a mask in my own house? Well, and I'm going to get my second vaccine here. And believe me, I don't want to get any shots. Shots for what? I don't want to get the shots. But I'll do it because it's the right thing to do when it comes to making things easier for me and hopefully providing safety to myself and to others around me. You haven't seen Gunsmoke in almost 3 weeks. Listen, I forgot to give Jono all those movies and TV shows that I had on my thumb drive. We got into talking, and then the next thing you know, I forgot all about it. I just washed this. I just noticed a little shit all over my shirt. I don't know what the hell it is. Doesn't look too good. Did I blow my nose on my shirt? I think it's detergent. Anyway, the shirts don't come with detergent on them. So if you get a shirt, there's no detergent on them. Believe me. Anyway, I think we're about done. No. Let me see something here. Yeah, all right. Okay. I guess that fight is probably on. Soy Dog Cowboy forgoes listening and to the stream because I bet you money he's watching the UFC. Anyway, I guess that's all I have today. Didn't you wear that yesterday when you and Jono escaped to the bedroom? What are you talking about? That was you in the bedroom with Jono. Looking at the view. I'm not going to talk about what we were talking about, but you were admiring the view. Andy, later on, be safe. Take it easy. All that good stuff. In the end, I think it will be all for nothing. We all just have to learn with the bastard of a thing. Yeah, and where did it come from? China. I haven't even eaten Chinese food since I've been in, well, I had Thai dim sum. But other than that, I have not had any Chinese food since I was in Hong Kong. I haven't had any because I'm too pissed off at the Chinese government. I won't even eat Chinese food. What does that tell you? I won't even eat Chinese food. And I like me some Mugu Gai Pan and some egg foo young. I miss it. Haven't had it in a long time. Anyway, please remember to click thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. This is a nice little chat today. Free from trolls, as I like. Don't have to piss away your time dealing with them. Remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you would be so kind. You don't have to click the notification bell. China. Yes. You don't have to click the notification bell, but do me a favor, subscribe. You will never get a notification if you don't hit that notification bell. And sometimes with YouTube, you can hit the notification bell, you still won't get a notification. I took the Sinovac because, listen, I would eat some Chinese food. I'll do that. But, I'm not going to China. It's not going to happen. I've already been there. I saw it. Been there, done that. Good enough. And I will still say that the Chinese, the girls who helped me when I was in the, what the hell did they call it? The press, the whole press area thing. They had these students that helped all the foreign press. And they were very nice and very helpful. I couldn't have asked for anything better. It was just, imagine Thailand where they bend over backwards basically to help you and that kind of thing. That's what they did there. But I don't have an issue with them. I have an issue with the government. And, I think people that live there are pretty much apathetic because, again, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to stand up to the military and they're going to fight them? No, of course not. That's the thing. The governments have wised up. They know, hey, these people can protest, they can complain, but what are they going to do? They're not going to do anything because you know what? They can't do anything. There's nothing they can do. There's very little they can do. In a strong country, there's very little that they can do if they want to. A country with a strong military. So, anyway, appreciate it. Thanks for all those 144 or whatever we got today, the people watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the CCP that I got the issue with. I don't know about that, and that's another whole issue. Can you mix the Sinovac with the Sinopharm, and is that okay? Would the WHO say anything about that? Would any other organization say anything about that? It's... You just have to take your best shot and go for it and not worry about it. And, granted, it's easy for me to say, well, I'm not that worried about it right now. But, if I was keeled up into a fetal position in the hospital, throwing up and dying, I probably would say, wow, I shouldn't have done that. Hindsight's 20/20, though. So you just got to make the best decisions you can. Yeah, anyway, I've already said everything I need to say. If you want to help contribute, just go to my website. Go down in the description. You can get some merch without laundry detergent on it. Yeah, that's all. You can get a book. You can become a Patreon patron. That's always a good method. And you can visit me on social media. All the links are down below. So that's all I have. Jerkin. That's all I have until Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about if there's anything I can do. Maybe I can meet up with Longhorn somewhere, but I don't know because... Oh, it fits good. Oh, good. All right. Good to know. My shirt fits good, too. The shirts fit well. I mean, they are pretty good. Anyway, thank you very much. Choke D, Jerk and Mai, all that good stuff. Take it easy. Tony, you take it easy. And I will talk to you guys later. I got no music, no outro video today. We're just going low tech right off the phone. So, good. Good. Oh, I forgot to say that today, before I came on, the Thai baht is at 32.81. The air quality is 43. Temperature at the time, which is about 5 minutes to 9, 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Feel like temperature was 91. 20% chance of rain. 77% humidity. High of 89. Low of 77. Winds west southwest 9 miles an hour, and visibility is 6 miles. So there it is there. Thank you, John. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm American in Bangkok. Choke D. Jerk and my. See ya.